Motivational Drive-By, Coco here. How you doing today? Number 79. No matter how little or how much you have, there is always someone who will envy you. There's a lot of things that a lot of people take for granted. And there are a lot of unhappy people. And they're unhappy because they don't have this and they don't have that. And it's tragic. You know, they're all concerned because they don't have the new this or that. You know, they have last year's. And their car is 10 years old. And they're, you know, I mean, go on and on and on. You know, they only have one flat screen TV. You know, it's ridiculous. You know, we are so material driven. For myself, kind of as an austerity kind of a thing. Once or twice a week, I do this real simple beans and rice kind of a deal. Either do it for lunch or dinner, just to kind of make me realize, you know, what I have. To kind of get me back in focus. I don't have a lot of stuff. I mean, my car is 12 years old now, I guess. It's 99, so that would, you know, model year, so that would make it actually probably 13 years old, and it's got 190,000 miles. And I love it, and it's running great, and I take care of it, and I would like a new car. You know, work on a sponsorship with Volkswagen, maybe it'll give me a new Beetle. That'd be completely cool. Not expecting that to happen, but, you know, it could. But I don't need that. You know, my car is great. My life is great. And there's things going on that, you know, people have no idea, but it doesn't matter. I was always the kid who could take a rock and a stick and have a good time. And that's important. You need to recognize that, you know, as good as you have it, or as bad as you have it, there's always people there, you know, who've got less or have got more. And you can't let that bother you either way. I mean, granted, there's people starving, there's people living in dirt. I mean, you see pictures every day of the starving people, you know, the old, you know, the almost skeleton mom holding an almost skeleton baby. And there's not a lot you can do about that. And a lot of that's political. A lot of that is in countries where it's power to starve people. You know, you control, there's food, and you're not giving it to them because you're in control. That's sick. That's evil. And there is true evil in this world, and it has nothing to do with, it has to do with power and control and greed. You have to realize that, you know, you have many, many benefits, many, many good things in your life. In fact, everything in your life is a good thing. You know, I know people who, well, I've worked with suicidal people who, you know, just talking about committing suicide, and it's because they've shortened their viewpoint, their perspective to like this. They're looking through a tiny little pinhole, and they're looking at their problems this very second, this very minute, this very hour, this very week. I was talking to some kids who were, you know, have had some issues, and they were contemplating, you know, they weren't really serious, but the concept of suicide came up. And I said, "How long has this been going on?" They said, "About a week." And I said, "Okay, if you weren't contemplating, you know, even thinking about these problems, what's your life expectancy?" And they said, "Probably 90, maybe 100 years. I said, "Okay, let's say 100 years, because that's a nice round number." So you would be contemplating suicide on 1/52nd of 1%. Which is, I don't even want to think about the decimal, but it's ridiculous. You know, there's people out there who kill themselves over a bad year, a bad month. You know, their boyfriend, their girlfriend, their husband, their wife leave them. Okay, that's today. there's next week, there's next month, there's next year. I mean, okay, you got to climb out of the hole. Okay, fine. You got to be realistic. Look around you. Like I said, there's people around you who envy whatever you've got, no matter how little you have. They envy what you have. They look at you and they're envious. You know, and maybe it's because you're smart. Maybe it's because you're funny. Maybe it's because people like you. Well, that's a choice. You make these decisions. These are all, you know, life choices that you head in different directions. You have to be realistic only insofar as recognizing what you've got and being thankful. You know, it's completely amazing. And what you need to do is recognize that no matter how little or how much you have, there are people envious of that. You know, there are wealthy people who have all kinds of issues because they have money, and they're envious of the people who don't. And there's lots and lots of people who are envious of people with money, and they think it makes life easier. And I know a lot of wealthy people, and their life oftentimes is more complicated than mine. Although I probably wouldn't mind that kind of complication, but then again, probably would. But then you hire people to fix it. So, but they don't do that either because once again, it costs money. It's a crazy kind of a circle thing. When you're thinking about your muchness, like I talked about earlier, just recognize that you're surrounded by people, many of who are going to be envious of you. And you might be envious of other people. But look at yourself and reflect on all the things you've got. You'll be a lot happier. You know, come to grips with what you have. And if you want to improve a few things, then work to improve them. But don't waste time being envious of other people, because that's just a waste of time. Okay? Think about that, ponder that, and as always, have an amazing, stupendous day. Coco, out.